That's what I be doing. All right, I'm going live now.
Yeah,
See, cause my mixer is showing good, so let's
if
hopefully
it's
this stream
showing
good.
good on OBS and whatever, then it should be fine.
The stream on here is pretty good. Nice.
And I mean, I'm gonna turn the stream on my end, and I'll let you know.
So now let me now I'm gonna tweet it out, and then I'm gonna get started on talking about the People's Party.
I mean, I
Oh
would
man,
trim
I
it to
got
where it doesn't show the rest of Discord, just shows us. But again, you do you. Because right now
oh
it's
yeah
showing
yeah
like
yeah
your
I
entire
got it.
Discord.
Yeah, I remember how to do that. I got it. And then that's fine. I need change the description. So dang man, we all got 2 viewers. I'll be like, man, hopefully I got a little bit of time to do this,
People are
man.
waiting. I think some
Yeah.
people just.
So I'm gonna just make sure I'm gonna just put your tag in the description. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna post this stream because I have a few reactions to the People's Convention. I have my friend Alex here. How you doing, Alex?
Doing good, doing good.
Good, good. So I was looking over. I'm gonna I'm gonna tweet this out, trying to get some
I
more
was
people
gonna
in
say
here,
the
and
same.
then. But I know we are live here now, so I'm gonna copy this, tweet it out. I'm like, damn, people already started coming in.
Yeah, it sounds good on stream too. So. Just wondering where my cat went off to.
I gotta keep my eye on this damn thing, so they like to disappear. I mean,
Yeah, I'll let you know.
on
I've
the
got it.
OBS, because sometimes like I think I don't know if it's a computer issue, but I swear I don't be touching it, and sometimes the audio will just mute itself, and people be like, bro, I can't hear. I'm like, I don't know what that
Yeah.
is. I don't know what that is. So I got that tweet out. Let's see.
Yeah. We watched the whole thing yesterday. This person in chat asked me.
Bet. Oh, I remember that dude. I did a podcast with him before. How you doing, brother? Hey, you want to hop on? I did actually did a podcast with him before. Yeah, yeah, let me yeah, I'm gonna send him a message on Twitter. He's a friend of mine.
Yeah, I mean, go for it. Obviously.
I said this whole show is just about giving the mic to other people too. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. Fuck man, my DMs are so fucking crazy. I can't even find them. Let me let me type it out. There it is.
Supposedly.
So violent to the general, I think first, right? Then he can just come in.
There's a Joe Kennedy ad in the Sunday Telegram where he misspelled. I don't know. I hate trying to say this word, but Worcester. But City,
Yeah.
he put an H there, and it's like that's not how it's spelled. It's funny.
So I sent that guy. I want to send him I sent him an invite. Let's see if he can hop on here.
Did you send it on Twitter or
Yeah, I
you
sent him to
Twittered
him
you?
I sent him on Twitter. It's been a while. I think it's been a few weeks since we talked. But if I remember, I think he liked Yang, but he liked all the progressives. But I think he was a big Yang guy. But he's pretty cool. Um,
I mean, Yang did have one or two good ideas,
I
except it
like
was
Yang for the
wrapped
most
up.
part. Everyone pissed me off. That's the
Well,
thing.
yeah,
Everyone
yeah, the entire
because
field was terrible, but
everyone they will have good ideas, but then they wouldn't make the actions I would expect someone to make if they really was wanted to push those ideas. Like Andrew Yang shouldn't have taken it easy on Joe Biden because Joe Biden was like, "Fuck UBI" from day one. Like, bro, why didn't Andrew Yang just flamethrower everyone? Like, UBI, I'm not endorsing you. That's what he said at first, and he still end up endorsing Joe
he
Biden.
was one of the first, yeah. But that's how he got his spot on CNN.
Yeah, when I saw
But
him
yeah,
on CNN, I was like, "What?" I was kind of confused at first, but then um, he started performing on CNN, and he was sounding like a standard Democratic pundit, and I was like, "What?" I was
yeah,
like, "What the fuck
I
happened?"
think that
Like, I
was
was,
like the most
yeah.
quid pro quo thing ever. Is like DNC told him, "Hey, if you endorse Biden, we got you a spot on CNN." Like that just seems like what
Oh, he
happened.
said he liked Tosi. I think I had confused one. He liked Tosi. I'm like, Tosi's cool. I talked with her in South Carolina.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I like Tulsi for anti-war stance.
Oh wait. I might mess it. Did I email her? Oh no, dude, it's confusing. Hold up.
He said he sent you a message on Twitter.
I might send it to the wrong his alt or something. I don't know. I don't see the message I sent him. I don't know. That's weird. It's cool. So while we wait for him to jump in, I think I sent him a message here. I sent him a message link. If you have a Discord, you can just click the link and jump in. I would think, right? That's what I'm thinking.
He said you sent it to the wrong person.
I don't see the message though. That's the thing. I'm looking at my inbox. I don't know if I even sent it. Hopefully I didn't. Hopefully I didn't send it to the wrong person. Some
I
fucking
mean,
bum.
if someone else got the Discord link, I'll like if some random
Yeah.
person joins, you can just
I'm looking
spam
at
them.
I'm looking at my messages sent though. I don't see any messages. So thank God. I think I dodged a bullet there. Um. I don't, who that just came in? Oh, he said I'm in Discord now. All right,
All
cool.
right.
I want to see what he has on his agenda right now. Cause I want to do my breakdown of
Mm.
the People's Party speech. Then, man, do I gotta change this title again? Damn, that's not
Oh
supposed
yeah.
that's not
No.
supposed to save. So this People's Party convention post show, and not a watch party. It's a post show.
I
Post
hope so
show,
because if we're doing a watch party, we're a day late.
yeah, and then we talking about Joe Biden's record because I want to get I need to set a record straight or something here. Joe, no, actually no, critique a two-party system because that's gonna come up
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
because like that was literally what Chris Hedges' speech was touching on. Like it was perfect. So is it? So he actually joined in here already.
I saw somebody join the Discord. Then he has to uh, join the voice channel. You don't have a Twitch set up yet, right? Someone in YouTube chat was asking.
I have a account, but I haven't logged in a long time. He said how you
Oh
join
yeah, that's right.
call.
You were.
Can you bring him in the call? Or do you gotta join manually? I think you just gotta
Yeah,
join.
yeah, I should join.
He said yeah,
Sorry,
and he just gotta join.
just realized I that's
There
up.
he is.
Sorry. Sorry, man. I'm kind of new to I'm not really good with Discord. You know what I
No,
mean?
it's
So
cool,
I
bro.
like.
We all learning, bro. Cause this is only my second stream. Like I just did my first stream yesterday.
That's
Um,
awesome.
I have my
Just I
good
don't,
friend Alex. My good friend Alex has been just teaching me the ropes ever since I've been doing this.
Trying,
all
I'm
right.
trying.
Cool, man. Cool.
And
I'm
and
putting
he
on the
mostly do
headphones.
Twitch, so he's kind of learning the new part of doing YouTube too. So
Awesome.
either way,
That's really,
we just having a good
that's really
time,
cool.
and
I
I'm
want,
glad that you hop on because I know you've been hitting me up like, bro, I had so much stuff going on, but I still wanted to talk to you and see what you've been going on, what you've been going up to because I saw you organizing with a lot of
yeah.
YouTubers and I seen you do your thing, brother. I seen you.
I'm hustling.
So
I'm working. Yeah. So actually, I want to invite you to something called the Power Anthem Network. It's a bunch of different Tulsi YouTubers that got together. Honestly, I've been trying to after you did mention Yang Gang. I did move to Yang Gang, and I'll tell you why. Right? Honestly, I like Tulsi better, but the thing is that the power was in the followers. The power was in the right. Nobody's perfect. They're just one person. You know what I mean? But the thing is that Yang Gang has a very active group. We actually I have like 5 campaigns I'm working on. Alex Morse in Massachusetts, Jen Perlman. We spent we made hundreds of phone calls for
yeah,
Jen Perlman. We broke records for so many of these anti-establishment candidates. And I was trying to get the Tulsi team to do it. Tulsi endorsed one candidate, Isaac Wilson from Carolina. I'm the only one in the whole entire nation, as far as I know, other than his local helpers, helping out with his campaign. Yang Gang has teams of 10, 20 people showing up. You know what I mean? So they're effective. You know what I mean?
yeah. It's great that you guys are doing
Yeah.
this, and this is the part of the coalition I'm trying to form.
Unite the
People
left.
always
That's why I
ask,
was trying to contact you. Yeah. You're part
yeah,
of Unite the Left. Yeah.
yes, absolutely.
I
'Cause
remember
I
that.
have
I remember.
people all the time confused on what that means because I often criticize the Democratic Party. So they be like, man, you're not trying to unite the left. I'm like, bro, they're not the left. They're not the
Exactly right.
left.
The corporate. The
They're
corporate. They're right. They're the hidden right.
yeah, they're
I
the
agree.
people that we're trying to defeat.
I get that.
And Jen
I'm with
Perlman,
you.
she was trying to defeat one of those people. Debbie
Hell
Wasserman
yeah.
Schultz, she's not on our
Absolutely.
team.
That's a prize right there. Yeah. Absolutely, man. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But the MPP, honestly, just to talk about the topic at hand, honestly, we have to be very careful that we don't create new oppressors. The thing is that
Yeah.
you if you follow some of the videos that I have, you'll see that they aren't really open to ideas being put on the platform. And one of the things I tried to put there was Assange. Another person tried to put on gun rights, things like that. And I'm not. I'm There's a certain amount of you'll see that my common complaint is that they're very Bernie focused. Not that they, that there's anything wrong with Bernie or anything like that, but the thing is they're used to certain conversations happening. They're used to talking about Medicare for all, which isn't bad, right? But they're also used to not talking about Assange. And we brought up Assange and
Yes,
tried
I
to
agree.
we've tried to get exclusive support for Assange on the platform, and they keep not talking about it. And we're like, we're used to that from the Democrats, so they're like, why don't you just shut up? And I'm like, you can't make me shut up. You know what I mean? That's what the Democrats try to do. You can't be just another new. So one dude's calling Democrats but still, nobody's perfect, and I'm still
Yeah.
trying to make us work together. You know what I mean? And I don't, you know what I mean? There's gonna be mistakes made, but I'm still trying to work with them. But they're trying to I think some of them a lot of them want to work with me, to tell you the truth. Yeah, but some of the leadership, the key ones, the ones that matter, made a different decision.
That's that's been a common critique I heard of this kind of there's been a fracture within the Bernie Sanders left. There's been the
Yeah,
Bernie Sanders left that's more in line with what Bernie is doing. The Chuck
yeah,
Rocha wing of the Bernie side of the party. The people that is teaming up with Joe Biden with no questions asked. And then you have the wing
no,
of the party that was speaking at the People's Convention. The Nina Turner wing of the party. Nina Turner
yeah.
was as
I love Nina. I love
impactful.
Nina. I
Yeah,
love Nina. In fact,
Nina
yeah,
Turner is as impactful as anyone in the Bernie wing in the progressive movement. So she represents a whole nother side of that. And
if
this
she
new
was running
side,
MPP, I don't think this would have happened. You know what I mean? It was just some organizers that really kind of like maybe, have. But if Nina was running this, I know, because she said things that have lined up with it's got to be about the people. It's not about a
Right.
title. It's about, you know what I mean? And that's, yeah, she gets it. I could tell. I
Yeah,
love Nina.
we were talking yesterday about her and how she's the type of person that wouldn't want to be like the president, but maybe should be because she doesn't want to be. But also
Yeah.
that she'd be extremely effective being like behind the scenes, the campaign manager, the policy writer. She would be super effective at that. And then obviously during the Bernie campaign, like her speeches are crazy. She can whip up a crowd like no one I've seen in a
But
long time.
this latest convention shows us the importance of shows just like the Progressive Martial Artists in your show. I'm new to meeting yourself. Yeah, what's your name? Alex, right?
Yep, I'm Alex.
It's a, honestly, because the thing is, you could see like the whole progressive media went there. You know what I mean? And like they're given access and things like that. And to keep them honest, there always has to be. You can't just assign one person they're a savior figure. There's got to be constant review and make sure that things stay of, by, and for the people. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So, like we can see that a lot of the progressive big names got sucked in. And once again, are they really questioning anything about MPP? I don't see so much of that. You know what I mean? It's almost like a new establishment.
Yeah, they do have some pretty major flaws that I'm seeing, but I'm hoping that we can try and work those out. Like you were saying, the
yeah, they got
Assange for sure, and the gun rights, like that's a big thing. You can't.
So we can all swarm in, right, and then vote. The convention comes up later. This convention was actually just a show. You know what I mean? It's just to gather support and RNC, DNC, and it's a good strategy. But later on, they're going to pass their bylaws. When that happens, we all need to swarm in and make sure that it's truly
Right.
democratic and not another elite freaking crap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the criticism of the Green Party because the whole point of what we're trying to do, we want to put the power back to the people, and we want to organize as a grassroots instead of having an individual elite cabal that is in charge of everything. So I definitely understand the concerns and where everyone's coming from, and that's where my goal coming and what I'm trying to accomplish. Because the reason why I pick up the banner of the United Left, because one thing that really, really frustrated me at the end of the primary is how we never came together. The Tulsi people, the Yang people, the Bernie people. Because I remember I was making an argument last year because I remember there was a lot of people in the Bernie wing of the party that didn't like Tulsi, that didn't like Yang. Now I'm like, you guys can be critical of them because I was critical of everybody, like I'm critical of Bernie, but I'm mostly supportive of them because we need as many anti-establishment voices as possible. And I'm thinking like, okay, so we'll come together, we'll have this debate about what we're gonna do at the left, and then we're gonna come together, we're gonna endorse whoever's in the lead, and we're gonna crush the establishment. But unfortunately, that didn't happen, and that what led to
It
disappointment.
is happening, it is happening, and we're doing it right now.
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
and
Later, yeah, but we're doing it right now, literally
yes,
right now.
and that leads to my point. That leads to my next point. That's why I'm glad to see what you're doing, and that's why I'm glad because I actually reached out to a lot of Tulsi people, like me and Nickel House. We're pretty good friends now. There are a lot of people from Tulsi world that I didn't really associate with before. Like there was another organizer. I don't want to drop her name. But I know she was working with Jim Peralman's campaign. She was a big Tulsi supporter. Good friends with her now. So, huh?
Was it ET? Are her initials ET?
I'll PM it to you later. But pretty much my point is it's not that important. My point is that I'm trying to reach out to these people. There's a lot of people in the Yang Gang. I fought with the Yang Gang a lot because I criticized Yang, and now I told people I'm like, bro, I'm not doing it. I hate. I don't hate the guy. I still like him, but I'm just telling you guys from where I'm coming from. And there are a lot of people that realize that I was doing it in good faith, and they know that I support UBI. I released a mock platform yesterday, and I'm like, bro, I got a mock platform that Tulsi Twitter, Bernie Twitter, Yang Twitter, Chris Hedges Twitter, Jimmy Dore Twitter, anybody Twitter should like. I'm combining all our platforms. I'm like, and this is what we should do. Let's have the policy debate.
Let me tell you. Okay, here's another thing, right? I work with I don't know if you see my video, but I'm part of Brand New Congress, Justice Democrats. You know what I mean? I've been in the Green Party for over 20 years. So the
Yeah.
thing is that, right? There's actually a video on my channel where you see I roast the shit out of Yang Gang. I'm like, how the right? Because there's a group called Humanity Forward, and I'm like, how the because they fucking you know who Grace? Excuse my language. You know
Yeah, I
who
know
Grace
exactly
Mang
what
is?
you're talking about. No, you good.
Grace Mang?
You good. You can say wherever you
Yeah.
want on this show.
Okay.
But go ahead,
Good.
brother.
Okay. So I like Grace, that they endorsed Grace Mang. I said, what? I said, no way. You know what I mean? I made a video. I roasted the crap out of them, right? Then what happened was, honestly, right, we talked about it later, and they were able to handle dissent. You know what I mean? They said, you know what, okay, you know what I mean? We had our reasons, but we're still going to work with you to, like, work on the Jen Perlman thing, you know what I mean? And the other, like, you know, the Alex Morse thing that we're working on now. There's another guy, this guy from Georgia that we're helping out right now. I think his name is the third. They're having an emergency election. So we're still we're still having lots of gains. We just did a protest against Asian American violence yesterday. You know, I mean, we're still getting things done, even though they know that I don't agree with them. And a lot of groups can't do that, especially nowadays. You know what I'm talking about? So
Yeah.
maybe, and I did have run-ins with Yang Gang during the campaign. But a lot of those cats are gone now. The ones who are like kind of like, you know, young, inexperienced, and kind of like, you know, disrespectful. But the ones who are left are the ones.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
That happened. I'm not denying
And
that
the
was
thing
part
is, Yang did a good job at getting some people that was
Yeah.
on the independent right wing that wasn't usually engaged in politics. That was a lot of his base, and a lot of progressives and a lot of people on the left wing attacked Yang for that. And he was like, "Well, Yang is attracted to these right wingers." I'm like, "That's a good thing, man. He got a platform. He still had a platform that was to the left of the Democratic Party. Like you can still there are a lot of people that to the left of me, a lot of people that follow me that will critique Yang's platform, but he was 100% left of the Democratic Party. So let's instead of attacking Yang, and instead of trying to demonize him, let's just have a policy debate about it, and let's adopt the good ideas of each of our platform and challenge the establishment and try to push the country left with it. Because I'm like, instead of fighting UBI, the criticism we had of UBI was it wasn't progressive enough because we thought it was a way to go ahead.
Also, by being a member of all these different organizations, like I know what's going on. Like you know, what I mean, like I told you, the convention, like, there's another convention coming out where they're going to pass the bylaws. Right now, Yang Gang, actually Humanity First, which is one of the biggest organizations, is actually involved with the new. They're about to like have like upheaval. They actually recently flipped their executive board over, right? There's been a lot of upheaval. And now what happens is that they're switching from a bottom-up to a top-down management style that's trying to get passed through now. I would prefer a bottom-up versus a top-down, you know? So by getting involved, you can prevent these things from happening. So join Yang Gang and help me try to influence things to like be more from the community base, man. You know what I mean? And if you guys don't get involved, you let those people, you know, and honestly, the executive board is honestly kick-ass right now. I'll tell you right now. You know what I mean? Like, I get why they're frustrated, but they're also kind of new to politics. I've been doing this. I've been in Green Party 20 years. I've seen through the Democrats BS for over 20 years. You know what I mean? So they need some help and guidance, and they need our support. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you, what are your future projects that you're working on right now? Like what like kind of I know you always work on campaigns. You're always working on different initiatives. It seems like based on what I've been seeing from you. Like what do you see you working on in the future?
Okay, so right now I agree with you guys that that's one of the reasons why I was reaching out to you, right? And also there's that Power Anthem network. We need to build our new establishment. The establishment, what happened was, if you look what happened to Tulsi, right? You know, Martin Luther King and his nonviolence, you know, his way of achieving things. But now the media nonviolent protest has always used the media to appeal to people's consciences, create a crisis of conscience, right?
Yeah.
But now the media controls. Now all these people want to vote for Biden, and you're like, what are you smoking? But they watch so much mainstream media, they have no idea what's really going on in life. You know what I mean? So we need to adapt. We are the future.
Dude,
we are the ones that will fix this media or something. Yeah.
Dude, you hit the net. You hit it perfectly. With people like
Power Anthem Network. I'm hitting those guys. I'm talking to all the different groups, and there's a lot of groups working against me as well too within the groups that don't like the fact that I represent that. But whatever.
What can you do? Dude, I like that idea, bro. You know why I like that idea? Because one of the reasons why the corporate wing won, Joe Biden didn't run a campaign. There was no campaign. The media establishment was his campaign.
Yeah.
Like he had no campaign offices in a lot of states that he won. Because the media establishment gave him billions of dollars of free advertisement. So we underestimated the influence and reach that the few progressive media that we have had, right? Because we already got a few big names: Secular Talk, Jimmy Dore Show, a few TYT shows. Those are the big names, right? We thought
Yeah.
that they alone would be enough to help us uh, cross the finish line. That was not the
And
case. Like there
the
was so
problem is
much
they got bigger than.
misinformation, because the corporate media was fighting us every step of the way. And I'm not just talking about Bernie Sanders. I was sympathetic to Andrew Yang and Tulsi Gabbard too, because there was nobody who was treated worse than Andrew Yang and Tulsi Gabbard in the media. They were treated worse than Bernie Sanders was. Like
Yeah.
they
Let me
was
show you
Tulsi
something.
Gabbard.
Yeah.
Tulsi Gabbard should have been on the debate stage, one of the debate stages,
Yeah.
Oh,
and they
absolutely.
denied her.
Let me show
So
you something that's even more disturbing. The thing is that remember when Iowa and Pete Buttigieg like rigged
yes,
the or there was some problems with the thing. The thing. I'm like Biden now, right? Anyways, yeah. So check it out.
Yeah, let
Back
me
then,
flip
like
a coin over it.
I was watching like different news in different countries to understand how they would see the situation. So you could go to YouTube right now, and the thing is that they were very critical of what happened. They said this is wrong. But if you go to Sky Australia, right, which is one of the biggest news nations in Australia, now everything's promoting Pete Buttigieg. You're like, what the crap? On an
yeah,
international level, right? Yeah, this propaganda, right? Track it how it's going across in other countries. The corporations are now international. I think we also should go international. Let's reach out to some of the other organizations in Europe and find out things are going over there in Australia,
yes,
and
yes,
see how
brother.
they're reporting our news. Because honestly, it's changed. Right after the election, right after Iowa, there was articles in Australia that said like, this is wrong. That's all been replaced. Look in YouTube right now. Type in Australia, type in Iowa caucus, and see what comes up. You're like, what? Nothing but Pete Buttigieg. What the? You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Dude, your point about making it international is huge, bro. And that's one thing that I use to
Yeah.
separate myself, because I talk about foreign policy, and I tell people don't let the liberal establishment convince you that foreign policy is not important.
Which is
And
Yeah.
why
I'm like,
Tulsi should have been on the debate stage.
yes, we watched the Democratic National Convention. How many times did they mention ending the wars?
Never.
Not one goddamn time in
No, they want
hours
to
and
start war.
hours. So people ask me why I was watching the Democratic National Convention. I didn't watch all of it. It's torture, but
Yeah, I didn't
it's
watch any of it.
know thy enemy. So I watched that
Who do you?
convention. I'm like, they didn't talk about ending the wars or the class struggle one time in hours.
Which one do you think is bigger, the military-industrial complex or Google and Microsoft combined? Which one of those entities do you think is bigger?
Military-industrial
monetary
complex,
control.
obviously, by like orders of magnitude. It's nuts.
You can't F with that industry and not get touched. That's what happened to Tulsi. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it from the day ever since she hit the national stage. I saw her, and I had a conversation with Toshi. I was straight up was like, "Man, you was bold," because I can tell by the people that you don't like her, because when I talked to her, that was when she was beefing with Hillary Clinton. Yeah, she was beefing with Hillary Clinton. We had our conversation. So I'm like, man, the Clinton and their people are some of the most vicious people in politics. They got control of the
Obviously
media.
corrupt. It's so wrong. I was dodging sniper bullet in Bengal. Whatever. You want to be Tulsi Gabbard. You wish you was. You wish you was a soldier. You ain't no soldier, Hillary Clinton.
Dude, Tulsi is literally the textbook of what the Democratic Party was say they looking for. She's a young
really
woman of color who was a veteran, a combat medic, right?
Yeah.
And
The
she was a
problem is
Democratic
she's
Party vice
anti-terrorist.
chair, but then she made the sin of crossing Hillary Clinton when she endorsed Bernie Sanders. And ever since then, it was a constant smear job after constant smear job. And yes, for my viewers, I understand that Tulsi is not perfect. She has some issues, but she was better than most. She is to the left of the Democratic Party. She is to the left of the vast majority.
I think her career is over. So let's move on. Let's talk about the convention and how we can work together and get gains in the future. Honestly, I don't think the Democrat Party will ever let her win anything, including governor of Hawaii. I think they will.
Yeah, I don't know what she had planned. I don't really know. I'm not really sure her plan, but my point is the point is that they want to suppress any talks about foreign policy. That's why they went to her, and that's why you didn't see no talk about that in the convention. That's why your point of making it international is very important because I had people from other countries that was like, man, I appreciate the fact that you bring up more foreign policy because these decisions actually affects our life and affecting our life now because the U.S. foreign policy always comes home. It's gonna come home. Like, and now you see the fascist police state that we are under right now. That's a direct reflection of our international foreign policy as well. It's coming back home, and this is why I stand in solidarity with not just Black Lives Matter, but I stand with the Palestinian people as well. I stand
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
people in
we're
Yemen.
being
And
I,
genocided.
I personally am a result of this. I'm Korean American. I grew up
yes,
in a super violent household because of the aftermath of the Korean War. I ran away from home at the age of 16. You know what I mean? Like, yo, I've been living on the streets and stuff. It was really fucked up. So and my passion in working for this campaign is directly because of the hardships that I faced directly as a result of the Korean War. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
you hear that story a lot from a ton of people who are first generation, second generation. So people who pretend it's not a actually important thing to discuss and not something that's an important litmus test to have. I'm like, dude, I know people who are directly affected. I had a manager. She was
Yeah.
a very very nice Muslim lady, and she was a first generation that came from a war. I don't remember exactly what war torn country. I don't want to misrepresent her story, but it was a war torn country. She told me she went through struggle, and then she eventually went through got herself through school, and she eventually got herself to management. And it was like a feel good story, but at the end of the day, how feel good is it? Because there were a lot of victims that she know. She would tell me horrible stories about people that passed away and people that didn't make it. So it's a feel good story for her. But how many people can actually say the same thing that been through her life experience? So these
Yeah.
policies actually matter.
yeah. And
So
I've got.
go ahead. I'm sorry, Alex. Go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say I made a few friends the last few years. You know, one of them grew up in Palestine actually, and her school was bombed when she was 6. Like a lot of her classmates died.
That's
Luckily she's now in California, but
too common.
and she's actually very very active in the protests or whatever you'd like to call them in San Diego right now, which is great. But yeah, a big part
Yeah.
of that was because she's experienced what we do and what we support firsthand. I mean, she lived it.
What up? Yeah, another project I'm working on right now, right? The thing is that we need to be sustainable, like shows like yourself, right? Where are you going to be like MSNBC has a whole corporate wing, has a whole commercial base supporting them. You know what I mean? But they're not telling the truth. They're completely subjugated. So people like yourself, actually, like there's the guy in the Yang Gang who calls more than the candidates themselves. He's a very hard worker. We need to create our own, like James Brown. I don't want to create a new establishment, but we need to be sustainable with this progressive movement. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, we gotta have our own way to counter the mainstream narrative, and that's how we do it. We can't do it as scattered pieces, and that was one thing
Yeah.
that I was talking about um, before I watched the People Party convention, and I was really concerned. I was like, we have the Green Party on one side, we have the People's Party on one side, and we still have progressives not sold on either or. So I'm like, man, we splintering so much. Like, what exactly are we planning to do? So us coming together and us coming to, and having the conversation and helping each other promote and advance each other's agenda, I think it's gonna be really important in helping to destroy the two-party duopoly and helping us actually establish power from the left wing and from the working class movement. So um,
I'm all for
that's
it. I'm all for
yeah,
it.
yeah,
But
for sure.
luckily, like younger generations watch more online media, a lot more independent
Yeah,
things like this versus like CNN, NBC. So I feel like, and just watching numbers of some of the bigger lefty, whatever you want, political talk show people online,
Yeah.
they're
I,
just growing like crazy. People are actually watching now. So
I
I'm
know
just
that.
hoping
Yeah.
it gets bigger.
I know that like a lot. They had like a lot of like the bigger names, like they even had Jamal Thomas, things like that, which was cool. But nobody really took MPP to task, as in terms of like why is it truly a people's party? You know what I mean? They just brought out all the celebs, so that's quite worrying. You know. So that's not saying that I don't expect perfection. Nobody's gonna be perfect, right? So we still got to work with them, but that's why we're the contingency. You know what I
we
mean?
gotta keep
And a
pressure.
vital one. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
we gotta keep pressure on
we need
everyone.
to.
And
Yeah,
man, people get mad at me, man, when I do what you're doing right now. When I just make basic common sense criticisms of our allies. I'm like,
Yeah,
bro, we our job as members of this movement and as organizers and as communicators is to point out when a group is doing something wrong, so we can course
yeah,
correct and we can find a better way to advance as a left. The lack of our ability to have that conversation, I think, is what led us to be disorganized and to be defeated for the last decade, to be honest. But the oligarchy itself has been so irredeemable. We was able to still pick up numbers. We still have a lot of people who agree with us in terms of the issues, even though we don't have institutional power yet. We win the debate because like I point this out all the time on the exit
yeah.
polls. Even though Joe Biden defeated Bernie Sanders, everyone was supporting Medicare for all. Yang, like I give him credit for this because UBI was polling. I don't remember exactly the number. I think like 25%. It wasn't high. And then Andrew Yang hit the scene. Now it was like 50 to 60%. So
Mhm.
Andrew Yang was effective at what he was trying to do, no matter what you want to criticize him for. Tulsi
Yeah.
Gabbard came out and she was talking about ending the wars. And now you see massive support of pulling out of Afghanistan, of getting out of these conflicts. And when I remember when the Venezuela conflict was going on, and the United States government was trying to dethrone Maduro, there was outcry from a left, and you've seen this anti-war left being rejuvenated because you have voices like Tulsi Gabbard, you got Bernie Sanders speaking up about the kind of thing. So we don't have
Yeah.
institutional power, but we continue to have these conversations and continue to build grassroots and build our numbers. I think at the end of the day we can get a lot done, and that's why I'm very excited to see what you continue to do.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, I also think that I don't. Have you ever seen? I had a video like why third parties fail. Have you ever seen that?
I need to check it out, man. I'm gonna look at.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check that out for sure, brother.
Look,
And we can.
I've been a part of. Yeah, I've been part of the Green Party for 20 years, so it seems weird that I would make a video why third parties fail. But I feel like I do understand. If you look at the installed user base of the Democrats versus like the Green Party, which is still sizably larger than I think the than the MPP by about 4 times. I think they had 10,000 watching, and actually I have the real numbers on my video. But the thing
Yeah,
is that like it's
I'll check
like
it out.
more than 40 to 1 odds. The odds are really because the Democratic base is just so installed. That's why, like, I can't blame Bernie or Tulsi for taking. A lot of them say, "Well, how could you endorse Biden?" But they're making a play for that audience right there to try to capture those votes that are just automatically going to come in. And I think it's
Yeah,
worth it. So they're
yeah.
pros, but we also got to do our work too. Yeah,
Everyone
I don't want
has
to really.
their
Yeah,
everyone has a role to play. So I make my criticism of how they did it, but I tell people at the end of the day, Bernie Sanders is a senator. At the end of the day, Tulsi Gabbard was
yeah,
a congresswoman who signed a contract. At the end of the day, young
Mhm.
Andrew Yang was a candidate who signed a
yeah.
contract. So you gotta realize that A1 has a role. So you have Bernie Sanders that will play the role of a senator, and our job is as his constituents and is to push him to our position. So he gonna play his role as a senator, and then we
That's
supposed
what
to
he
drag
really
him to our
wants. He
yeah
wants he wants that, but we need to give him the backing, right? So I love that.
yeah
You're willing to step up and do the work. A lot of people say, "Why doesn't he just solve all our problems?" He's not.
yeah.
He's
Yeah,
not
he
God.
doesn't have
Okay,
the
come on.
ability.
Yeah,
I tell people this all the time. Even if Bernie Sanders won, there would still be a lot of work to do.
oh
And
Oh
there's
yeah.
yeah,
people
wow, so
like
much.
even
Yeah,
if he won, dude, I would have been on the grind right now. It would have been insane how much I
yeah,
work.
Oh, yeah,
So
we would have had to.
people
We
think it
would
would
have
have
had.
been and people gonna think it's not a lot of work now that we lost. Now it was like, man, we were way behind now. So that's
Mhm.
my mindset. I'm like, man, I don't got all the answers. I don't know if everything I'm saying is perfect. I'm working on helping start the general strike. I was trying to help with this Occupy Congress movement that we will start on the United Left. But I was like, man, I'm just one guy. I'm just one guy.
Yeah.
We all got to come together,
Only
and
so
it's
much
gonna take a lot of
leeway.
work. So I'm gonna just take all our shots. I think that's what we should do. I think we should focus a lot on direct action like that. But once again, we also shouldn't give up on electoral politics because we should take all our shots. We help support
yeah,
progressive down ballot candidates because I'm very, very excited that Cory Bush won. I'm very
yeah,
excited that you've seen. progressive members like the squad win in landslides. Because now I'm hoping that they will use that leverage to be a little bit more aggressive. Because I have criticisms of them too, but the whole point is we gotta have all this come together. We need to have left wing members continue to win, and we need to have direct action and be critical of the left wing members when they do win, so they can actually do what we want them to do. Because we've
Yeah.
seen some members shift to the right, but Rashida Tlaib, she won her race in a landslide, and she is now emboldened now. So she is like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to endorse Joe Biden. She said we must support. She
Yeah.
voted against the Democratic platform because it didn't have Medicare for all. So this is what we need. If we have more members, like she have Cory Bush, Jamal Bowman, and she have more backup. Imagine
Yeah.
if they have more, if they have that more power to do that. So
I also volunteered for Jamal Bowman's campaign.
good,
But
awesome,
I
man.
saw early on, like I don't know if you heard of Sunrise Movement. I didn't know that there was
Yeah,
Sunrise Movement at the time, but I saw that the kids were making so many calls, more than the adults were, like the combined strength of other campaigns in total. So I didn't work that much on the
yes,
campaign because I knew he was going to win straight up. But the top two organizations, remember I said I work with many organizations, Brandon Congress, Justice Democrats, like Yang Gang, Bernie. I'm talking with you guys. I need to get a little bit deeper with Bernie Katz, right? I'm also in Yang Gang. The top two organizations, as in terms of like ability to crank out calls and provide political support right now, from what I've seen, is Justice Democrats and Yang Gang.
impressive for sure. And this is
Tulsi
something
is
that's
nothing. I am
very
Tulsi. Yeah.
this is something that's very scary for Biden, because one thing that's helped Joe Biden win the primary was this older demographic and the mainstream media helping him out. But what
Yeah.
really helped you win, especially as a Democratic candidate, is a fired up youth group that will volunteer and
Yeah.
make phone calls for you. So Joe
I
Biden
encourage you to
has
join them. Yeah.
Joe
You should
Biden
join
has his,
Justice Democrats and influence them. Join them and
and
influence them.
yeah, and
Yeah.
they was worried because there was a story that came out. It was like only like 2% of Bernie supporters donated to Joe Biden. And it was like, and there was like no one signed up. There was literally nobody signed up to volunteer. And I'm like, bro, it's hard to win this like this. He was still up in the polls, but then we look now, we see the polls getting closer now. So this brings up your point earlier. With these group and with us powered together, we can have a grassroots system that can beat the corporate oligarchy. We've seen it done.
Yeah.
Just like when you say you were working with Jamal Bowman, we've seen Cory Bush. She failed the first time. I think she lost by like 20
Yeah.
points if I remember right the first time. But she's like, fuck that, I'll do it again. But we're gonna be more organized, and we're gonna have more people. I'm gonna have more influence. I'm gonna be more organized in my immediate interviews. And it was a great improvement on her when she was conversating with people on the. I remember she had that Fox News interview. I'm like, they used that to attack her. It wasn't great. It wasn't great, but she improved. She got better, and she got better at organizing her message. Now she's a threat. Now you don't want to give her the camera, because you give her the camera, it only helps her message. So this is what I want to see
Yeah.
the left accomplish.
I also want to provide one more angle of just on that particular topic that you just talked about right there. The thing is that when you watch these interviews with these candidates and stuff like that, right, and they talk about how the race is going, the thing is that remember that the newscasters, even the progressive newscasters, right, and the candidates are only getting one vision of the campaign. They may have access to more numbers, but being on the ground shows you a different side. Also, notice that the campaign, do they ever say that they're struggling? Do they ever, like, not on purpose? If they can, they try to cover it all up. You know what I mean? So it's really good to like get involved with working with campaigns to understand how that whole thing works, understand the role of, you'll see that I made another video about like the role of paid consultants and how you got to be very careful of them, and also about the expanding role of NDAs. Remember when I met you, I was asking, like, remember I was like, what are they doing with those NDAs? Because they're really getting out of control. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's like other moves that are being made that people aren't talking about, right? Because the people like the big time, like Jimmy Dore, he'll never know about like the expanding role of NDAs, because unless someone like myself bolts out and talks against it.
Yeah, that's why your
because-
voice is important.
Yeah.
That's why it's important
Yeah.
to have you on. And I literally talked about this before, and I was tweeting about this the day where I officially kind of announced I'm gonna start live streaming. I'm like, the whole point of my show, because I've been blessed with this platform somehow. So I'm like, I want to pass the microphone to as many people as possible. Remember, when the first time we talked, I said I refer to myself as a citizen journalist, because one thing that they always tell us, they want to pitch the idea that journalism is only the elites. that CNN, MSNBC, New York Times, Washington Post, they're the only people that are qualified to distribute information. No, everyone is a qualified journalist. Anyone who can tell a story is a journalist. It's about what quality of journalist you are. What's your intent? What are you trying to do? Now, one of the most important things in society is a group of journalists. They call it the fourth estate that hold power accountable. Now, they call themselves the fourth estate. Meanwhile, they play defense for the establishment. They play defense for war. They don't fight for the working class movement. They're not fighting to hold Nancy Pelosi, the Democratic Party, Donald Trump, Mitch McConnell. They're not fighting to hold them accountable. They find playing defense for them. So that's why our movement is important. That's why I say your voice is important, because, like I said, you can cover something that Jim Dore may not be able to cover. I talk about my perspective as a Black American, not just because I don't think race is the most important thing. I say it because I'm telling my story, and I feel like everyone. I can't just sound like everyone else. When I was thinking about making my show, I'm like, I don't want to just sound like Jimmy. I don't want to sound like anyone. Go ahead.
If I could say something to that, yeah. So there's this way that a lot of people on the left have been characterized as kind of like this, SJW thing, right? Not one word has been said today in an SJW way. We're just getting along. There's nobody shutting each other out. There's nobody saying like the white man's bad. Nobody's saying that here. So the media is portraying this caricature of the left wing. Look at this. We have three people here talking and loving each other. No problem.
Yeah, and this is what I say. And this is what the media don't want. This is the part of the left of the media don't want to show. I'm all about solidarity among, and I'm all about fighting for everybody's issues and struggles, and no matter what your race, your gender, no matter what your religion is. I'm fighting for the working class. I want to hold power accountable. So when I see our government deporting Mexicans en masse, I most likely won't be affected by that policy. Let's be real. Yeah. ICE most likely will not have any. I won't have any issues with ICE in my life, to be honest. But I'm a strong advocate of abolish ICE because I stand in solidarity with my Latino brothers and sisters. And this is what I believe in as a left. That's why when people want to tear us down and try to divide people on race, because I made a video about this a few weeks ago. You can check my channel. When they were trying to divide the Black Lives Matter protest in Portland, because they were like, yo, everyone in Portland, all these white people showing up for Black Lives Matter. I'm like, bro, we need white allies.
Yeah, we need the white people. What are you doing?
Yeah, like I'm never gonna have a problem. Like, there's never going to be racism levied against me. I'm white. I know that, but that doesn't mean that I should just sit back and just be like, oh yeah, I'm good. You guys go ahead.
Yeah, and that was my criticism.
That's the most "fuck you, I got mine" thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, and that was my criticism of a lot of the white progressives. That's why I had my beef with Voss. So I'm like, he was literally trying to tell me to vote for my oppressor. And I was like, bro, he was like, protect me. You gotta protect me. I'm like, bro, so you want to tell me to vote for someone who's trying to prop up a fascist police state? Someone who's still pushing the new Jim Crow? Like, are you kidding me?
I'm not feeling Voss.
No, I already had my beef with them. So I'm not going to talk about it too much because we already had my conversation about it. But I'm saying this is my criticism of white progressives. What we were talking about, they don't stand as a lot of them. There are a lot of great ones like Alex here. Yeah. But there's some of them I noticed, the ones who are voter shaming people to vote for Joe Biden. They don't stand in solidarity with anyone other than themselves. Because now defeating Donald Trump is so important because it affects their lives. But for me, for example, or for a lot of Latinos, for example, I could use that as an example I was talking about earlier. Kamala Harris praised ICE. ICE is an example for it had been caught in human rights violation after human rights violation, and it was literally caught by a court of law being guilty of implementing slavery, forced labor of the people they have in their camp. And that's who Kamala Harris supports. She literally said she's still supportive of ICE to this day. So you want to talk about lesser of two evils? What lesser of evil than supporting slavery?
Yeah. That's just the beginning of her problems. That's just the beginning, right?
Yeah, I can go all day. All day.
Knew he was innocent, right? And then she's like, for my career, it's better if he's guilty because, I don't want to have a loss on my record. Yeah, so if he's got to die, he's got to die. Really?
Yeah, imagine condemning someone to death when you know they're innocent and being okay with that. How do you live with yourself?
Because it helps your career. Because it looks better on your record.
That's like, you have to be completely a sociopath to do that.
That's
You're
exactly what
willing
she
to
is.
Kamala
literally.
She's an
is
obvious sociopath. She's an
she's
obvious
as evil
sociopath.
as it comes. Like she as evil as it comes. Like she is the
Yeah.
next Hillary Clinton. The only reason she isn't as bad as Hillary Clinton because she haven't had the opportunity to be as bad as Hillary
Yeah,
Clinton.
give her a bit
She
more time.
voted. She voted against a 10% military budget decrease. 10%. When Bernie Sanders came out with that bill, we was like 10%. And they was like, well, no, we just gotta get something. We gotta get something. We can't. We was like, dude, you gotta
Yeah.
go 50 because that's the Green Party
Yeah, I was
platform.
like 50 plus, please. But
The
yeah, I mean, you
Green
gotta
Party
take.
platform is 50%. So we was like, you gotta go
Yeah.
50%. But Bernie was like, we gotta do 10%. People was like, man, we was criticizing Bernie for that, and then Kamala
Yeah.
voted against it. She is insane. Like she supports the giant police budgets. She's literally voted against a 10% military increase. And y'all want to talk about lesser of two evils? Her and Joe Biden is gonna terrorize the world with
And
their foreign policy.
and look at what a poor job they do of covering it up.
Yes.
We have to get organized because it's embarrassing that we're letting ourselves get beat by that. It's ridiculous.
It makes no
So we
sense,
have
man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
So when the leadership says don't talk to each other, like as the ground, if we all believe in what's going on, we still got to keep talking to each other and move forward. You get what I mean? But luckily, Bernie never said don't talk to Tulsi people or Yang people. They never said that. So I don't know who in the leadership of these organizations, or maybe they're not even leaders, just like some weirdos have this thing. But I never had a problem with none of y'all. I actually love all the y'all shows. And
yeah, that's how I felt. That's how I felt.
Yeah.
Like I said, people came after me. I was like, bro, I'm not turning on people that want to fight the establishment. No, that's not.
Yeah.
I got too much time. I'm too busy fighting the fascist neoliberals, the fascist right wingers who go after Tulsi people. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna like the only time we have our fights is when they got mad when I criticized her. But I never went on their page. I never went on their media platform to diss them. It's just a waste of time. Why would you do that? We got a whole system to dismantle. We got a system to dismantle.
How much of the
So I was just gonna make a quick comment. I was just like how we were talking about earlier. Like the three of us are just sitting here, and we're all good with each other. I know for a fact that all three of us have different ideas on different things. Like we don't see eye to eye on everything. But so the whole meme of like leftist infighting, okay, yeah, it does happen, but it's not as strong as like everyone seems to make it out to be.
And the implication,
and stuff.
and the implication that leftist infighting is somehow a bad thing just shows how toxic our political discourse is.
We shouldn't be lockstep with everything. You should have your own ideas and then talk about it and then figure out what the best way to go is.
And that's my criticism of Blue MAGA, because that's why I call them Blue MAGA, because that's exactly what they are now. The Democratic Party realized what they need to do to become successful is to be like Donald Trump and the right wing. So they build up a messiah in Joe Biden that you cannot criticize. Like Joe Biden can shoot someone on Fifth Avenue. He won't lose a damn supporter.
Yeah, I saw someone literally say that.
Like literally, and that's my thing. I'll make the comparison.
Wasn't there some lady that said she was okay if her daughter was sexually harassed?
Oh my God!
And she's like,
yes, I know.
My own daughter, just have her.
So what's the difference between them? Because
these are the same people that had the audacity to call anyone that was voting for Bernie a cult of personality.
Yes. And now we're not doing what Bernie Sanders says. Yeah. Bernie endorsed Joe Biden. We're not listening to him.
Yeah, the second that Bernie dropped and endorsed, okay, bye.
That's their fantasy. That's their fantasy.
It's projection.
That's what they're doing. Yeah, it's
exactly.
projection.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Because they're the one that calling each other mommy and daddies after their convention. Like, that shit is cringe. Like, you see that?
And somehow they know about us without ever talking to us. Somehow they know about us, but they've never talked to us, right?
They mute us.
All I get is blocked on Twitter, or they say, like, that I'm a communist and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, yeah, I am a communist, but come on, man.
Yeah. Actually, go ahead.
I might be a communist.
That's cool. All right. So the thing is that there's another group that I work with, Power Anthem Network, and that's
I saw you talk about
Fridays.
That.
Yeah, on Fridays, I would like you to join. I think you should also create another network for yourselves within the Bernie movement and create it bigger and just grow it. You know what I mean? And we could even do a crossover series. Power Anthem Network meets the Progressive Martial Artist Network series. You know what I mean? And we could link up Tulsi, Bernie, and just grow it. You know what I mean? I've been trying to look for activists, but a lot more people are more casual. We can take this through to 2024 and keep the movement alive.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to bring up as well because I actually, like I said, I've been busy. Like I've been have so many things coming at me, but I saw what you've been working on, and I know that we hooked up before, so I actually would be very interested to be on your show on Friday because like man, we need to hook up some more. Because I announced like I got this new podcast I'm doing, bringing on people that don't have a voice that are usually silenced by the mainstream media. Once again, I'm a citizen journalist. I won't pass the microphone, so let me know, man. You said Friday. I'll be available to do that. So I can end with this because I don't want to do like 5 hours like we did yesterday. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna give you the mic, brother. If you got anything you want to promote, anything you want to push,
Okay.
it's on you, man. I'm gonna say that I'm gonna end with you.
I want to hear about Alex too, because I want to make sure that like after I watch it, I get all that information too. But my channel is youtube.com/c/djelf7. Yeah, DJ like disc jockey, elf like those little people in the forest, and the number is 7. Yeah,
Yeah.
on Twitter I'm Squid Chronicle, and pretty much that's it. Yeah, I'm gonna be super active. Keep watching Progressive Martial Artists. We will be doing more stuff, so by following him, you can see what I'm up to. Yeah.
All right, cool. So this we're gonna do. I'm gonna leave all the information that you lay out there in the description of this video.
Thank you so
Once
much.
I get done editing and cutting it up, so they know you can where they can check you out. And obviously, Alex is gonna be a regular on the show as well, so you guys continue to check him out as well. Anyway, once again, this is the Progressive Martial Artist.